Okay, so let's get started. Welcome everybody to the orientation for Diploma of Construction Technology, Diploma of Building Design Management Extended. Sorry, that was Diploma Construction Technology Extended. Diploma Construction Technology, the Bachelor Construction Technology, and Diploma of Building Design Management, Bachelor of Building Design Management. So basically, we've got students here in our orientation today from 4 courses, and I really want to draw your attention to the course codes. It's important that you know what your course code is, okay? So you can see the extended courses, so 7165 and 7136 are 4-term diplomas, and the other 2 courses, 6045 and 6031, are 3-term diplomas, and I'll be talking about that a little bit more. It's just a lot easier if you can take note of your own course code. Before we go on though, and talk about your course and what you'll be studying, I'd like to begin with an acknowledgement of country. With respect for Aboriginal cultural protocol and out of recognition that its campuses occupy their traditional lands, Western Sydney University acknowledges the Darug, Eora, Darawal, also known as Tharawal, and Wiradjuri peoples, and thanks them for their support of its work in their lands in Greater Western Sydney and beyond. Okay, so firstly, just a reminder that this Zoom meeting is being recorded. There's information there. The actual whole session will be published on the website. So if there's anything that you feel like you want to come back to and that you've missed, you can do that. So it'll be published on the orientation page where you entered this session. The other thing to remember is that your participation in the chat or question or asking any questions is purely optional, but please remember that will, in participating in the chat functions and so forth, you are really consenting that that information be shared in these sections. So just a little bit of a heads up about that recording aspect. Okay, so once again, welcome to Western Sydney Uni. All of you are college students, but first and foremost, you are Western Sydney University students, which is a really exciting step in your educational journey. There's lots of information on this slide, but I guess I'd like to draw your attention to a couple of things. Firstly, Western Sydney University has 10 campuses, and you have right of access to all of those campuses. I'll talk a little bit about the library later on. 45,000 students. So you're actually part of a massive community. And that becomes important as you continue your journey when we think about policies and ways of doing things, that you're really part of a very, very large organisation. The other thing I wanted to talk about before moving on is the scholarships. Scholarships here that are offered at Western Sydney Uni. I'm particularly talking about this because this part here, because there are a lot of scholarships that actually go unutilised because people don't apply for them. Now, this will be more relevant to you probably as you enter your second year from the college, but it's really worth taking a look at what scholarships are available on the website. You may be surprised that you are indeed eligible to apply for some of those. And lastly, obviously there's a lot more than that, but I'd like to draw your attention to this point here, that we were ranked in the top 2% of universities worldwide. So we're really proud of that achievement, and you now are a part of that institution. Another thing that we're really proud of is that the University Medal winner for construction management last year was a college student, Cara McCormack. So that's a fantastic achievement. And I hope that you can take great encouragement from that being starting your bachelor's degree at the college is not second best. And in fact, the very top student in construction management, a very large cohort of students at university, started as a college student. So really your future and your options and where this can take you is quite limitless. Okay. All right, so what we're going to look at now is what we call course structure. So a lot of students who sign up for us kind of don't know where the college fits in. They know that this is a pathway to university, but how is it different from school? How does it all work? So I'm going to spend a few minutes sharing some slides with you and explaining a little bit about how do you get to second year of your course, okay? So the college essentially is providing you a pathway to get to second year of the course that you are in, okay? So let's firstly look at what we call the standard diplomas, which are 3-term courses. Now, if you are in course 6045, you are in a course called the Diploma of Construction Technology, Bachelor of Construction Technology. And if you are in 6031, so remember I talked about these course codes, you might want to even have a look at your offer and check it out. So we're looking at these course codes. So 6031 is the Bachelor of Building Design Management, okay? So these are 3 terms. So what does that mean? That means that in term 1, if you pass all of your units, you'll go on to term 2 of this year. And if you pass all of those units, you'll then go on to term 3. And once you've passed all of your first year units, you will transition into second year at Western Sydney Uni in the autumn session of 2022. So in other words, this time next year, you'll be transitioning into second year, which is fantastic news, isn't it? Effectively, students in these courses aren't really behind at all in terms of when they start second year, okay? Now, the second group that we have with us are students in what we call the extended diploma. So in the extended diploma, you have a longer period of time when you're with us at the college. So you're with us for 4 terms. And we're looking at the course codes 7165 for Diploma of Construction Technology and 7136 for the Diploma of Building Design Management. Okay, so what you'll see here is that, again, we're looking at the course structure. So you are commencing now in 2021, term 1. When you pass all your units, you will go on to do term 2 of this year, term 3 of this year, and term 3 actually goes over Christmas, and we'll talk about the calendar later. And then you will commence at term 1 of next year, which is where we're at now. And then once you've done those 4 units and you've passed all those units, you are then eligible to go into your second year in the spring session. So that's semester 2 of uni. So you'll go to Western Sydney Uni in July of next year, not March, but July. And again, depending on whether you're in 6165 or 7136, you'll be going into the Bachelor of Construction Technology or the Bachelor of Building Design Management. Now, I'm going to stress one more thing here, and that is you'll notice this idea of passing all units. Now, when you're at school, most of you will go from year 7 to year 8 to 9, 10, 11, 12, regardless of whether you pass, do great, or don't do so well in your subjects. And when we talk about units, guys, we're really talking about subjects. Okay, that's the way we describe subjects. We call them units. So that's the first thing to remember, because it's a little bit different to school. But as I said to you, you can go from year to year without passing. Now, at university, you actually have to pass the subjects or the units assigned to you in order to transition, and in other words, in order to move forward. So I'm going to give you an explanation of that more in the next slides. What you have in front of you is what we call a pattern of study. Okay, what does that mean? That means that on this slide for this particular course, so we're looking at, again, we're looking at the 3-term diplomas. So this will apply to some of you. For 6045, the Construction Technology 3-term diploma, and 6031 Building Design Management. You'll notice that the subjects, or rather we use the word units, the units that you will study with us are the same for both of those courses in your first year. Okay, so firstly, you need to be really to concentrate here, because you need to make sure that you are enrolled in the correct units for term 1. Okay, so for students in these courses, 604, 6045 and 6031, for first term, you should be enrolled in these units, 4 units. Oops, look at my beautiful straight line. Isn't that gorgeous? That's the straight line of an academic English teacher. Okay, so if you're not sure, take a screenshot, actually take a photo of this. Hema's going to attach this to the chat.
I'll attach it and send it.
Great. So Hema's going to attach that and send it to you, so you can open this document up and save it in your own files. Okay. So the most important thing at the moment is that if you are in either 6045 or 6031, that you are enrolled in these 4 units. Okay. If you are not, and you want to ask us about that, that's something we can talk about at the end of the session. Okay. So make a note to yourself that you need to talk to us about that. Or you can even put in the chat box, I'm not enrolled in the correct units. Okay. So what else can we tell from this? So obviously this tells us all the subjects, all the units. So essential literacy for construction professionals 2, building calculations, residential building and construction communication. And what you'll notice is each of them has a unit code. Look at these beautiful straight lines of mine. A unit code. So that unit code is important, because when you enroll in your units, you always need to know your unit code. Okay. And so what I've got also, the information we also have here are the dates of term 1. So term 1 goes from the 1st of March to the 6th of June. Okay. Each one of these units or subjects is worth 10 credit points. So up the top here, we've got term 1, 40 credit points. So term 1 is your heaviest workload, in your heaviest study load in terms of your hours, your face-to-face hours. Okay. The other thing I want to draw your attention to is that the units in blue, so I'm just going to change my color here. Yep, the units in blue here, they are actually what we call prep units. Okay, so that means that they're units that you're doing with the college, that if you had gone straight to uni, you wouldn't be doing those 2. One is an English unit that's written specifically for construction students. Okay, so it's building your communication skills that you need as someone in the construction industry and you need as a construction student or a building design student. And the other one, building calculations, is the sort of maths that you need in order to succeed in construction. Okay, but what you'll notice is that the rest of the units in black, so all of these units, okay, all of these units, these 2, these 3, and these 3, they are what we call university level units. So if you had gone straight into uni this year, those units in black are the units that you would be enrolled in. Okay, so what you have in front of you is your first year's worth of units. Now, the other dates you can see, so you'll see from here that at the college we have 3 terms per year. The calendar is very different to school and it's different to university. And I'll talk about the calendar later. So here's our 2nd term and our 3rd term for 3-term diploma students. Okay, so that's some of you. Now, the other group of students we have with us today are the 4-term diploma. Okay, so you are either in course code 6165, Diploma Construction Technology Extended. So the extended basically means 4 terms. Okay. The other course that this applies to is 7136, Diploma Building Design Management. Okay. So you'll notice for those students, obviously there's a 4 term, but you'll see that you do more prep units. Okay, so for you, your first term is all prep units. In other words, they're preparatory units. Okay, so we have 4 of these. In your second term, you have 2 of these. So altogether, if you're in the 4-term extended diploma, you've got 6 preparatory units before you can go on and do your university level units. That is the ones here in black. Okay, all these ones in black. Now, there's just one more point I want to make, and it's a very important point if you are in either of these courses. Okay. You cannot do any of these university level units, okay, until you have passed these prep units in first term, all 4 of them. So this is what I mean about the difficulty. So if you fail any one of these or more, you can't start on your university level units. So it's so very important, everybody, that you knuckle down right from the get-go, because failing units actually has greater implications for how long it will take you to get to your second year. Okay. Now, most of our students follow this, get into second year. They're celebrating now because they're enrolling into their university level units. But I also have students that are still at the college who started in 2017. Not very many, but I do have some. Okay. Because they're continuing not to pass their units for whatever reason. So just be aware of that. Again, I'll just erase all mine in case you wanted to take if you want to take a photo of that pattern of study for that course. But Hema is also going to put in the chat box the attachment for this pattern of study. If you are in 7165 Diploma Construction Technology Extended, or 7136 Diploma Building Design Management Extended. Now I'm just going to take a pause. I know that was already a lot of information you've received, but very important information. And to tell you the truth, guys, until you happen to see a meeting with an FYC, and it's, you're meeting him or not, you'll never get this information in any other context, okay, presented to you in class. So that's why we start with it, because this information is very much what you receive when you are getting academic advice, which is what your first year experience coordinators provide. Okay, so don't worry, I'm going to give you a chance to talk to each other soon. All right, so as I've already mentioned, okay, what are you here for? You're on the road, you are offering in a pathway to 6045, the Bachelor of Construction Technology. So that's everybody either in that course, or you're on a pathway to 6031, Bachelor of Building Design Management. And when you finish with us, you will be going into your second year of study. Now, a college term looks very different to, as I said to you earlier, a school term or a university semester for that matter, okay? So Hema is going to attach the college calendar, because it's very important that you know when the breaks are, because if you organise vacations when you've got assessment tasks, because you're using the university calendar and not the college calendar, that's going to have implications for you for your assessments, okay? So firstly, a college term is made up of 12 weeks. Somewhere around the middle, there is 1 week, that's a midterm break, with the exception of Christmas, because there's 2 weeks at Christmas in third term. And then at the end of those 12 weeks, there is an exam week. You won't have exams on every day of that week, but you certainly need to keep that clear. And then there's usually a 3-week break between terms. Okay. So I'm just giving you a heads up. Hopefully all of you feel like this. Okay. Hopefully you all feel like this guy. That's our males and females in the course, because I know that there are, of course, when I say guys, I'm always using it to refer to both genders. But we have, people like this. I hope many of you feel like that. You're all ready. You're feeling that you're ready for study and you're motivated to start the career toward the journey toward your career. You will, guys, feel like this, okay? That's part of the process. And often that feeling comes in week 6, 7, 8, 9, when you have a lot of assessment tasks, okay? But there's nothing better than this feeling, okay, which is what happens when you receive your results and you pass at the end of each term when the results are released, okay? So in your mind, actually be prepared that you're not going to feel like this guy, okay? You're not going to feel like him for 12 weeks. It's very unlikely. I haven't come across any student that feels like that. So here are some key dates, and this will also be, you can take, I suggest you take a photo of this, because this is a great thing to just be able to have, handy on your phone. So we start on the 1st of March, so 1 week from today, depending on your own timetable. Okay, if you don't have a Monday class, obviously you don't start on Monday. Census Day is the 31st of March. Now I'm going to talk about this day, this a little bit, because it's such an important day in the university calendar. Okay, so I'm looking at this date here. Okay. So Census Day is the day that you can withdraw from one or more units. You could withdraw from all of your units, and you will not get any you'll not have to pay for that unit for a start. You won't get a HECS debt for that unit, and nor will you have a grade that appears next to your on your student record. Now, after Census Day, okay, even if you do not attend a single class, you will accrue a debt for that unit. Okay, so when you're paying your taxes of 48,000 per annum, you will get charged, your money will come out of your tax to pay for that unit and any other unit that you study. So you will get reminders. You don't have to worry about, how am I going to keep all this headed? You will get emails from the university and from your FYECs reminding you that Census Day is coming. And basically what that is you think, okay, am I doing the right thing? Am I in the right course? Am I on track with my assessments? Is this the right place for me? If it is, you don't need to do anything. If it isn't, then we would encourage you to contact your first year experience coordinator, FYEC, and talk to them and be guided with them. You might need, or you might decide to withdraw from your units, and that way you will not be charged for those. In a way, it's kind of like a try before you buy, okay? And you've got about 4 weeks to try before you buy. But once you hit that date, you're buying, okay? Whether or not you still want the product, okay? So that's the first thing I wanted to draw your attention to. The other thing that I'm sure you're all interested in is the first midterm break, and that is Monday, the 19th of April to the 25th. So you've got a week there. Your midterm break is about a week, and that is after, I'm just double checking something, everybody, yep. And so that's after week 7 in term 1. So you'll have 7 weeks, then you'll have midterm break, and then you'll have 5 weeks after the midterm break, followed by your week of exams, okay? So that's important. Often this midterm break is a time where you will have assessments. It's not a holiday. There might be assessments due immediately after that you can work on during that break. Then your exams are on between the 31st of May and the 5th of June. You'll notice Saturday is in there. Not often, but sometimes exams are scheduled for Saturday, so you've got to keep that time free. You'll get your exam timetable in about week 10 or 11, okay? So you'll know whether or not you have exams in that week. And then officially the term ends on the 6th of June, okay? So your break at the end of term 1 goes from the 6th of June to the 28th of June. So you can book anything you want in that period. You can work, you can go on holidays, You can do whatever you want in that period because you will not have classes or exams. How you progress in each term. If, for example, you do a reduced load or you fail a unit, what do you do next? We help with that. Sometimes there are changes of rules to courses. We help you with that. And your rights and basically any form of academic advice. If you're not sure where to find a form or something like that, we are the people that you go to. So this is another slide I would advise you to take a photo of. Okay, if you are in the Diploma of Construction Technology Extended, okay, that should be extended. I'm just going to add that to the side. Okay, so 7165, I'm your FYEC. If you are in Building Design Management, both the 7136 and 6031, then James Oliver is your FYEC. And if you are in the 3-term Diploma of Construction Technology, 6045, HEMA is your FYEC. So if you are not in my course and you send me an email, I will refer you to the person that you should be emailing. So take a photo of that so that you know who to go to if you have any questions after this session. Okay, so some people were asking this question, your classes, are they online or on campus? So for term 1, okay, start with term 1, on your timetable, it will be clear whether you are an on-campus or online timetable, or the class is, okay? Some students might have an on-campus class and an online class on the same day, okay? So we don't expect you to run home and get on your device at home, in time for that second class. But what we do have is we've established study halls, okay? So that's a space on campus where you can take your device and attend that class online. Okay. When you enter a study hall, like when you enter any class on campus, you will have to register using a QR code, just as you do when you go anywhere else these days in COVID times. It's very important if you have an on-campus class that you check your student email each day before you make your journey to campus. Because if there is a change to restrictions with regard to COVID, we might need to make that class an online class. So checking your emails every day, okay, should be a part of everybody's practice because things do change and we don't want you traveling, okay, or doing unnecessary things when you have been emailed information. Okay, so the campuses are open now. Okay. All right, so yep, there's lots of campus tours that you can find information about the campus and about connecting with other students, okay? You will get information about that again through your email, so keep looking out for that. Okay, I'm going to go through the next slides quite quickly. The My Western Student Portal is the place where you go to for your records, your enrollment, your timetable. I will demonstrate how you can access this at the end of the session, but it's a really important place where you can find information about your course, your records, information that you need. The other thing is views. I was going to show you how to access views, but your teachers will do that in class. But I guess the most important point here is that views is where all your information for your units, your subjects is kept, okay? Information about what you do each week, information about your exams, your assessments, it's all in views, okay? So again, at the end of this session, I'll show you how to navigate views, okay? So some expectations, attending classes and tutorials, it is an expectation, okay? It is unlikely that you can pass if you, well, research tells us if you attend less than 80%, then you have a much reduced chance of passing. I've already talked about checking your emails and checking views and policies and procedures. This, as I said at the beginning of the session, the recording of this session will be available on the website, on the orientation webpage where you are able to find the link to this session. And finally, just a question about where your course is headed. So if you're a building design management, okay, your study with us leads you to building designers. What do? Building designers plan and design areas for projects such as open space networks, school, institutions, roads, external areas for building types. Building design managers develop expertise in designing integrated, practical, spatial, technical, and environmentally sustainable projects. So hopefully you can see you're in a lead role in these construction projects. If we go to construction technology, I know there are a lot of questions about the difference between construction technology and construction management. I can't answer all of those questions now. Construction management, however, is a 4-year degree. Construction technology is a 3-year degree, and it focuses on residential building. Okay, so you are equipped to, again, I'll answer any particular questions about this at the end of the session. Do some project management, design and construction management, building estimation, building consulting, machine and design development, and site management. Okay, now I know that there are those of you who have questions about construction management and how do I get into construction management? And again, at the end of the session, we're happy to answer those questions. But because it doesn't pertain to everybody, we want to get to the end of the session. Okay, so I hope I've really emphasized checking your Western emails a lot. Okay, the services available, this is another important one. So there's the Budinami Centre for Indigenous Education if you are an Aboriginal or Torres Strait Islander student. There is information on careers. If you are a student with a disability or you had special assistance during your HSC, it's really important that you follow that up with us because there's assistance for you at the college and the university. There are some other services there. Again, you can get to any of these services by going back to the orientation page and clicking on the Student Services tab. And there's some more information about the support services. If any of those are things that you feel you need to know more about, then Student Central is the go-to, and the Student Central number is here. I would also put this one in your, this one here, I would put that in your phone, okay? Because if they don't have the answers, they know who to direct you to, and their email address is there as well. So if you're on campus, you can go into the office and ask the question, but if you're not in campus, then you can dial their number there or email them at that address. Okay, so for those of you who are in online learning, you are not physically meeting students, but there are lots of ways of getting involved with other students, as community dinners, leadership opportunities, and so forth. So if you go to, again, Student Life tab on the orientation website, you can get more information about how you can actually be connected to other students. I can already see that many of you are wanting to get connected. You're wanting to organise your own breakout groups for that. And I'm sorry that we don't have more time to allow that in this session, but you will have time, as I said, you'll definitely have time in your classes to do that.